Hey guys, welcome and welcome back. I am here to give a review that has been a long time in the works on my favorite hiking boot, which is the Vivobarefoot Tracker Forest ESC. It has been 11 months since I did a review on the Vivobarefoot Tracker Textile AT, and I returned it. So I wanted to come back and share how much I do love Vivobarefoot, enjoy their boots, and maybe it is something you will enjoy as well. First, let me start by telling you who I am. My name is Kath. I've been a full-time traveler and nomad since 2018, where I started with international travel. And in 2021, I transitioned to van life. Now I have been living full-time in this van since 2021, and I am transitioning again into trying to do more backpacking and hiking. With all of these different experiences, I have tried out a lot of gear. I spend hours online reading blogs and watching YouTube videos to find the right gear for me. It is so important doing van life, doing international travel, and now backpacking to have packable and lightweight gear. So now I'm here to share my own thoughts and experiences using these different types of gear. And hopefully my experiences, thoughts, and reviews will help you in picking out what you may need for your next adventure. If you will please click subscribe. If you will like this video right now, I know it's always easier for me to like the video in the beginning because I always end up forgetting at the end. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and let's get into it. 11 months ago, I did a review on the Vivobarefoot Tracker Textile AT, which I inevitably returned. And I replaced those boots with these boots, the Vivobarefoot Tracker Forest ESC. I'm so happy that those first boots didn't work out because it allowed me to send them back and get this pair instead. When I was shopping originally for a barefoot pair of hiking boots, it was really important for me to have a lot of traction. And it was very difficult to find boots that had a lot of traction on the outer sole. It does seem a little counterintuitive to have a barefoot shoe that has deep tread, but that's what I wanted, and luckily that is what Vivobarefoot made. When I was first picking out these boots and the Textile AT, I was a bit put off by these boots because I was concerned that they looked a little too masculine for me. I am in love with these boots and the way that they look. The orange outsole isn't as vibrant to me as it looks like in the pictures, and especially whenever it's dirty. I have worn these with hiking clothes, I've worn them in the city, I have worn them in the backcountry, I've worn them with cuter outfits, and I never feel like they stand out too much. So I really have been enjoying how they look aesthetically. So when I first bought these boots, I was in Florida planning and preparing to move to South Korea, and we had a snowstorm, but I wore these shoes in several feet of snow. They kept my feet very warm. I have worn them on the plane for a 14-hour ride over to South Korea. They are the boots that I use to carry hundreds of pounds of luggage through the streets of South Korea and on buses and trains. Then whenever I returned back and I was back in the van, they went hiking with me through Big Bend National Park. I took them on my first overnight backpacking experience in Yosemite this summer, which was 4 days, 3 nights, and 36 miles. And I've had many adventures after and between all of those experiences. They have been lightweight, comfortable, flexible, and I've never felt uncomfortable wearing them with any outfit and going to any place. Because I have a lot of experience with Vivobarefoot and the standard outsole that they use on many different types of shoes, boots, and sandals. So having these boots with the Michelin outsole, I was a bit concerned as to the difference in my experience, and I've really been enjoying this outsole. I have worn these shoes on sand, in mud, grass, dry and wet rock, through the backcountry, through the city, and I have found that they grip and hold on to any surface really well. I've only had one instance in which I did not find traction with these boots, and that was on a random day hike in San Diego, and I was doing a water crossing next to a waterfall, and for some reason, these rocks, I don't know what they were made of or what they were covered in, but I had zero traction. I'm going to insert a video, and if you have any input as to tell me why I didn't have any traction on these rocks, I would love to gain some of your knowledge. Tell me what rocks they were or what they were covered in, because if I did not have my trekking poles, there would have been no way for me to have not fallen a lot badly. Luckily, that is the first and only time that I have had any issue like that wearing these boots. Besides that, they hold really well. I get to run, jump, hike, walk in them, and I feel great. I love the height of these boots. The ankle is supportive but not stiff. I've finally been able to abandon my shoe gaiters because with the material, the height, and the ability to tighten the ankle, I have far less issues with rocks and dirt entering my shoes than with any other shoe or boot that I've ever worn. I have noticed that I sweat around the ankle if I'm not wearing high socks. These are made of leather, so they aren't exactly breathable, especially if you are comparing them to trail runners. I haven't had any issues personally with the sweating, no matter the temperature, as long as I'm wearing merino wool. I also didn't notice any issues with warmth and traction in the snow, and these are my go to boots for cold days when I need my feet to be warm and protected. During my 36-mile backcountry overnighter in Yosemite this summer, I did have a few issues that I can't really attribute to the boots themselves, at least not entirely. I started to have rubbing and blisters on the side of my big toe that wasn't helped by any type of moleskin or wrap. So I tried to take out the insole to give my feet some more space, but there wasn't enough cushion. Then I started to have heel pain and soreness. I put the soles back in, but then I started to have rubbing on my big toe again. Finally, and eventually, I took out the insole and I took my small Swiss Army multi-tool and I took the scissors and I cut the edge of the insole, and that completely eliminated that rubbing that I had on my big toe. It also made my heel feel better because I had more cushion with the Ortholite insoles and I didn't have that heel soreness anymore. So this was the solution that I needed. And then I no longer had any issues with the rubbing or the discomfort during that 36-mile 4-day hike. That was the longest and first overnighter that I have done. So that might not sound like a lot to you, but it was a lot to me. I have used wax to add protection to these boots when I first bought them. I've been too lazy recently to touch them up, but to my understanding, waxing them does add some water repellency. Overall, I don't have any complaints about these boots. I absolutely love them. I enjoy wearing them. They're very light at 1,050 grams for the pair. For a full-size leather pair of boots, that is extremely lightweight. They offer me the protection and the traction that I desire. They help protect my ankles, give my ankles support, and then keep me from having debris and dirt enter my shoes. Now that I adjusted that insole, I don't have issues with rubbing, and the tread is holding up really well. So is the leather and stitching on these shoes, as well as the hardware, especially when I have been pretty hard on them. The only thing that these shoes have not seen in the last 11 months has been streams and rivers. They are not advertised as waterproof, therefore I have not taken them in the water and I have not expected them to be waterproof. Most water these shoes have seen have been some puddles and rain. Um, I have been reluctant to test them in anything much deeper because personally I do not want to wait for them to dry out and me not be able to wear them on my next adventure, and I don't want to potentially ruin them while testing out their water repellency. I will say that that gusseted tongue that I talked about a lot in my last review is significantly higher here on the Trekker Forest ESC, as you can see. And that might be one of the reasons why, as well, I don't get as much debris in my shoes. If anyone is interested in these boots and looking for a pair of lightweight hiking boots or barefoot hiking boots that have a lot of room in the toe box for your feet, I would highly suggest them. Please do keep in mind that all of the experiences are subjective. Something that works for me might not work for you, and vice versa. Something that is a problem for me might never be a problem for you. It is best to try these things out yourself. I always think that the best option is to support small businesses that have good customer service and have good return policies. That way you have the ability to really communicate with the people that you're discussing your gear with, and you have the option to return it if it doesn't work. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so I can keep making more gear videos and hiking videos for you. And Walter says thank you too. Bye!